name is Mwai, and I am a pastor, and I want to thank you for taking your time to tune in to this very brief video broadcast. What kind of hands do you have? I want to challenge you in the next few minutes on what I have entitled Good Hands. Now, there's a story that is recorded for us in one of the Gospels, that is the Gospel according to Luke in chapter 10 from verse 25, and it's a story of a parable. Actually, it's a parable that Jesus Christ gave in response to a question, who is my neighbor? And he gives this very brilliant and powerful story that has been used in all kinds of situations, in all kinds of contexts all around the world, and it's a story of the Good Samaritan. And in that story of the Good Samaritan, which I want to believe that you're very familiar with, we see three kinds of hands. There was this man who was journeying, and the Bible says that he fell into the hands of robbers, and they beat him, they robbed him, they stripped him naked. And I have come to realize that there are people who have those kind of hands. They may not necessarily be robbers in the real sense of that word, people who waylay others by the roadside, but if you fall into their hands, woe unto you if you fall into their hands. They are brutal, they are cruel, they will mistreat you. They will not treat you well. They will talk about you. They will try to assassinate your reputation. They will try to kill you. They will try to cut you off as much as possible. And they are always fighting with that person or the other. And woe unto you if you fall into their hands. But in this parable, there's another set of hands that we find. There was a guy who was a priest, and also a guy who was a Levite, who passed by this man who had been beaten by the robbers by the wayside. But these two characters, what they did is they folded their hands and pretended they did not even see this man. The Bible actually says that they crossed over to the other side of the road and they just walked by. There are many people who also will simply fold their hands. They will never help anybody. They will see your predicament, they get it, they see an opportunity to help, they see an opportunity to be a blessing to somebody else, but they simply fold their hands. They are too preoccupied with themselves. They are too self-centered. They only think about me, myself, and I. And they always have their hands folded in front of them. They are oblivious to the needs around them. They don't care about the feelings of the people around them. They don't connect with the people around them, and they only think about themselves. In other words, their hands are just folded in front of them and they refuse to engage. So notice, the first set of hands was the hands of robbers. Are your hands the hands of robbers? People who steal other people's dignity and reputation, who steal other people's reputation and who try to destroy other people? Or are your hands folded? You never respond to anybody. You're not interested in helping anybody. You never engage with anybody. You never indulge anybody. But then there's another third set of hands, and these are the hands of the Good Samaritan. These were good hands. Whereas the priest and the Levite just came and passed by. But the Good Samaritan had some good hands. The reason why he's referred to as a Good Samaritan is because his hands were good. And we are told in that parable that he came when he passed where this man had been injured, this man who had been left half dead. He dismounted from his donkey and came and attended to this man, bandaged his wounds, poured the oil and the wine on those wounds so that he could bring healing, picked up the man with his own hands, put him on his donkey, and took him to an inn, a place where this man could be attended to, could be taken care of. He had good hands. Let me ask you a question. If somebody fell into your hands, if I fell into your hands, if a neighbor fell into your hands, if a loved one fell into your hands, what kind of hands will they find? Will they find hands that will bring healing to them? Will they find hands that will nurture them back to life? Will they find hands that will be a blessing to them? Will they find hands that will embrace them? Hands that are warm, hands that are gentle, hands that are loving, hands that will bring a blessing to them? Those are good hands. And I pray, dear friend, that God will help you to have good hands. Yes, I believe that every one of us has had opportunity sometimes to have good hands, but sometimes you have dropped the ball. But now that we know, may the Lord help you. May the Lord help me. May the Lord help us all to have good hands like the hands of the Good Samaritan. Please share this video with friends, with loved ones around you, and may the Lord bless you even as He gives you good hands.